What began as a routine Galactic Council meeting erupted into chaos the moment Benjamin Hill, a 22-year-old human student, unveiled his faster-than-light drive prototype, which could traverse galaxies in mere hours. Gasps of disbelief echoed through the grand chamber. Kazonia Prime's sun had just begun to crest over the horizon as Kazon historian Spicer addressed his students. Today marks the 50th anniversary of that fateful council gathering. Aliens had struggled for centuries to master faster-than-light, but were always met with catastrophic failure. Ships would vanish forever into the void between stars. Spicer dimmed the lights, his grey eyes reflecting the holographic stars. Exasperated, the 12 great civilizations extended a desperate plea to a fledgling world called Earth, which had barely scratched the surface of its own solar system. Expectations were low. He zoomed in on the blue marble in the sea of suns. Of over 10 billion humans, only one dared to answer the call. Benjamin Hill, a mere undergraduate student. The audacity of it, an academic novice standing before a pantheon of the universe's brightest minds. Spicer paused, letting the absurdity hang in the air. His young pupils leaned in, eyes wide. Little did they know the fate of humanity, and perhaps the galaxy itself, would soon rest on the scrawny shoulders of this prodigy from a planet of primitives. The council watched in amusement as he lugged his makeshift device to the podium microphone and nervously cleared his throat. The speaker continued. The Kazon representatives snickered and whispered among themselves, pointing at Benjamin's unkempt hair and oversized suit. Their dismissive hand waves and rolled eyes conveyed their confidence that this primitive human had nothing of value to offer. The Zorgon delegation sat in rapt attention. They tilted their bulbous heads, blinking their large dark eyes rapidly as they processed Benjamin's words. The occasional nod and furrow of their brow ridges hinted at a mix of intrigue and skepticism. In contrast, the Valkorians leaned forward, their muscular frames tense with anticipation. They exchanged approving glances, clearly impressed by the human's audacity to stand before the council and propose a solution to a problem that had vexed the galaxy's greatest minds for centuries. Benjamin's voice trembled slightly as he began, "Esteemed delegates, my approach to faster-than-light travel differs from previous attempts. Rather than trying to bypass space-time, I propose manipulating it directly." He paused, taking a deep breath before continuing. "I call it gravitational wave amplification. By harnessing and amplifying the natural gravitational waves that permeate the universe, we can create temporary tunnels through space-time, allowing ships to traverse vast distances in mere moments." As Benjamin delved into the intricacies of his theory, the council chamber grew quiet. Even the Kazon representatives ceased their snide remarks, struggling to comprehend the complex equations and diagrams that flashed across the holographic display. Spicer noted, the Zorgons leaned closer to one another, whispering excitedly as they recognized the potential in Benjamin's work. The Valkorians nodded in appreciation, their eyes alight with the promise of a new era of exploration and expansion. As Benjamin concluded his presentation, the chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices. Some delegates applauded, others sat in stunned silence, and a few engaged in heated debates. The Zorgon delegation wasted no time, immediately approaching Benjamin with offers to collaborate and refine his theory. The Valkorians, known for their straightforward nature, simply saluted the young human, acknowledging his courage and brilliance in the face of overwhelming odds. Spicer moved through the holographic projection, focusing on a shimmering sphere. Nexus Prime, a neutral planet chosen as the site for the FTL research facility. In the weeks following Benjamin Hill's groundbreaking presentation, the Galactic Council assembled a team of the brightest minds from across the galaxy to work alongside the young human prodigy. The projection zoomed in on two figures standing at the entrance of a sleek, silvery structure. Leading the team were Dr. Xyloth, a brilliant Zorgon physicist known for his innovative theories on space-time manipulation, and Commander Varus, a resourceful Valkorian engineer with a reputation for tackling the most challenging projects. Spicer gestured to the bustling activity within the facility. As the team worked tirelessly to bring Benjamin's vision to life, they encountered numerous obstacles. The advanced technology required to generate and amplify gravitational waves pushed the limits of even the most sophisticated equipment. The scene shifted to a darkened corridor, where a shadowy figure crept along the walls. The Kazon, still bitter over a human success, attempted to sabotage the project by infiltrating the facility with a spy named Kraxon. However, Benjamin's keen intellect and the team's state-of-the-art security measures quickly exposed the plot. The hologram displayed Kraxon, a snarling Kazon with a scar across his left eye, being apprehended by Valkorian security officers. Kraxon was captured and handed over to the Galactic Council to face judgment for his crimes. Speaker smiled as the projection showed Benjamin and Dr. Xyloth hunched over a workbench, engrossed in a complex array of equations and diagrams. Despite the setback, the team pressed on. Benjamin and Dr. Xyloth formed a close friendship, bonding over their shared passion for scientific discovery and their determination to push the boundaries of what was thought possible. The hologram shifted once more, revealing the completed prototype FTL drive, a sleek, compact device no larger than a standard cargo container. After months of intense research and experimentation, the team finally succeeded in creating a functional prototype capable of generating and amplifying gravitational waves to create stable, navigable tunnels through space-time. Speaker's voice swelled with pride as he described the historic moment. The successful test of the prototype, conducted in the presence of Galactic Council representatives, marked a triumph for human ingenuity and a new era in the history of space exploration. Benjamin Hill, the once ridiculed student from Earth, had proven that even the most daunting challenges could be overcome with perseverance, collaboration, and the power of the human mind. As the stunning news of Benjamin's successful FTL drive test rippled across the stars, Spicker described how the Galactic Council erupted into a fierce debate over the implications of this revolutionary technology. The Valkorian ambassador slammed his fist on the table, his voice booming with excitement. This changes everything. Imagine the uncharted worlds we could explore, the scientific breakthroughs waiting to be discovered. Dr. Xyloth nodded eagerly, his Zorgon eyes widening. Indeed, the possibilities are truly limitless. We must prioritize further research and development immediately. However, dissenting voices quickly emerged. The Kazon representative sneered, and what of the consequences? This technology could destabilize the delicate balance of power in the galaxy. The Quarian delegate, her face obscured by an ornate environmental suit, added cautiously, "We cannot ignore the potential for misuse. In the wrong hands, this FTL drive could become a devastating weapon." As the council members argued back and forth, alarms suddenly blared throughout the chamber. Speaker's voice grew grave. Little did they know, a new threat was already on the move. Light years away, a menacing armada of Krelax warships tore through the void of space, their hulls bristling with advanced weaponry. On the bridge of the flagship, the ruthless warlord Khazar grinned malevolently. "Set course for Nexus Prime," he growled to his subordinates. "We will seize this FTL technology for ourselves and crush anyone who stands in our way." As the Krelax fleet emerged from hyperspace above the unsuspecting research planet, chaos erupted. Khazar's ships immediately launched a barrage of plasma torpedoes, raining destruction upon the surface. On the ground, Benjamin and the research team scrambled for cover as explosions rocked the facility. Commander Varus barked orders to his troops, rallying them to defend the compound. "Dr. Xyloth, we must protect the FTL drive at all costs," Varus shouted over the din of battle. The Zorgon scientist nodded grimly, his fingers flying across a control panel as he activated the prototype's security systems. Meanwhile, Benjamin's mind raced as he watched the Krelax troops pouring into the facility, their weapons blazing. He knew that if the FTL drive fell into Khazar's hands, the consequences would be catastrophic. Making a split-second decision, Benjamin sprinted towards the hangar bay. "I have an idea," he yelled to Varus and Xyloth. "I'm going to lure them away from the facility." Before anyone could stop him, Benjamin leaped into the cockpit of the experimental FTL-equipped spacecraft. The engines roared to life as he punched in coordinates and activated the gravitational wave generator. With a blinding flash, Benjamin's ship vanished into a shimmering tunnel of warped space-time, the Kralax fleet in hot pursuit. Khazar snarled with rage as he watched the human's vessel disappear from his scanners. "After him," the warlord bellowed to his crew. "I want that FTL drive and I want that human's head on a spike." As Benjamin played a desperate game of cat and mouse with the Kralax, weaving through asteroid fields and skimming dangerously close to the corona of stars, a glimmer of hope arrived in the form of a massive coalition fleet dispatched by the Galactic Council to aid in the defense of Nexus Prime. The battle for the fate of the FTL drive and perhaps the galaxy itself had only just begun. As the battle for Nexus Prime raged on, Spica's voice grew more urgent. Benjamin pushed his experimental ship to its limits, the FTL drive humming with barely contained power. Plasma bolts from Khazar's warship streaked past, scorching the hull. The young human's fingers danced across the control panel, making split-second adjustments to the gravitational wave amplifier. "Just a little further," Benjamin muttered through gritted teeth. On the flagship's bridge, Khazar slammed his fist against the armrest of his command chair. "Destroy that human!" he roared, his eyes blazing with fury. The Kralax gunners redoubled their efforts, filling the void with a storm of deadly energy. But Benjamin's ship darted and weaved, always staying just ahead of the onslaught. Spica's holographic display shifted, showing the arrival of the coalition fleet. Valkorian battlecruisers and Zorgon science vessels dropped out of hyperspace, their weapons already locked onto the Kralax invaders. The tide had turned, Spica said, but Benjamin knew his work was not yet done. With a final daring maneuver, Benjamin spun his ship around to face Khazar's flagship head-on. The warlord's eyes widened in surprise as the human's voice crackled over the comm channel. "This ends now, Khazar." Benjamin's hand hovered over the FTL drive's activation switch. He closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. For the galaxy. In a blinding flash, the experimental ship vanished, reappearing directly above the Kralax flagship. The sudden gravitational distortion ripped through the warship's hull, tearing it apart like a tin can in a hurricane. Spica's voice was somber. The shockwave from the FTL drive's activation at such close range radiated outward, battering the remaining Kralax ships and sending them tumbling off course. As the enemy fleet retreated, their numbers greatly diminished. The coalition forces regrouped near the wreckage of Khazar's flagship. Amidst the debris field, they found the shattered remnants of Benjamin's ship, the once gleaming hull now blackened and twisted. Dr. Zyloth and Commander Varus led the search, their faces etched with worry and desperation. They combed through the wreckage for hours, hoping against hope for any sign of their human friend. But as the stars continued their indifferent dance overhead, a grim realization settled upon the coalition. Benjamin Hill, the brilliant young scientist who had unlocked the secrets of the universe, was gone. Spica's voice wavered, the weight of the loss heavy in his words. The Galactic Council, shaken by the events on Nexus Prime, convened an emergency session. The debate was long and heated, as the representatives grappled with the implications of Benjamin's discovery and the terrible price paid for it. In the end, a decision was reached. The knowledge of gravitational wave amplification would be strictly controlled, its research and development overseen by a specially appointed council committee. The technology that had once promised to unite the galaxy would now be guarded with the utmost secrecy and care. As the council members filed out of the chamber, a pall of grief and uncertainty hanging over them, Spica turned his attention to the aftermath of the Kralax attack. The Valkorians and Zorgons, their respect for Benjamin's sacrifice deepening into a sense of kinship, began to push for greater cooperation and understanding among the galactic species. They saw in the humans' actions a glimmer of what the future could hold, a universe where the lines between races blurred and the common good took precedence over individual ambition. But not all were swayed. The Kazon, still smarting from their humiliation, and the Quarians, ever wary of change, viewed the shifting tides with suspicion and unease. They retreated into their old ways, clinging to the familiarity of isolation and mistrust. Spiker's voice grew contemplative as he neared the end of his tale. In the years that followed, Benjamin Hill's legacy continued to shape the course of galactic history. His revolutionary FTL theory unlocked new frontiers and brought distant worlds within reach, while his selfless sacrifice served as a constant reminder of the responsibilities that came with such power. The holographic display dimmed, the stars fading into the background as Speaker turned to face his students. And so, we remember Benjamin Hill not just as a scientist or a hero, but as a catalyst for change. His story, improbable as it may seem, teaches us that greatness can come from the most unexpected places, and that the pursuit of knowledge, no matter the cost, is a noble endeavor indeed. As the lecture hall lights brightened, the young Kazon minds buzzing with questions and ideas, Speaker allowed himself a small smile. The future, though uncertain, held the promise of new discoveries and understanding, a fitting tribute to the memory of Benjamin Hill, the human who dared to reach for the stars. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.